Good morning, everybody. This is Tom Bracey with RE/MAX Elite Homes. I'm glad to be back with you again, and we're going to have a little conversation today about making the top 10. Okay, this is top 10 list, though, is the top 10 that you do not want to make. Okay, so what I thought we would do is kind of share with you some things. I kind of did a little research on the internet about the public's perception of us as realtors, and hopefully maybe we can do some things to improve our skills with our clients, okay? And get them to like us and avoid them not liking us, all right? The number 10 thing that came up on the information that I found, the surveys that I did, that people don't like about realtors is not being transparent. Okay, so you have to be transparent all the time about all what you say, what you do. If it's going to make a part of their decision, whether they're going to buy or list or sell or whatever, those are huge decisions. And for some reason, the public thinks that we're not sometimes transparent. So we have to really focus on that. Okay, the number 9 thing on the list that I found was not being respectful. Okay, so a good example of not being respectful would be to be late for an appointment, to maybe interrupt someone, things like that. So for some reason, the public has this feeling that we're not always respectful of their time and their money. So we want to be working on being respectful. Number 8, I found this kind of interesting. The number 8 thing that people have a problem with, realtors, is bragging about yourself, okay? Unless someone asks you, maybe you're doing a CMA and they're interviewing realtors and they want to know how much production you did, how strong you are in a particular market, and you have some statistics to back up that maybe you were number 1 in that market last year. Maybe you sold $8 million of real estate and you know that's part of your resume. So unless they're asking for that, you don't just talk about it. You don't brag about yourself. And I think the public thinks that we're too much about ourselves and how great we are rather than what we should be doing to help our clients. Okay? Number 7 on the list. People don't like the fact that sometimes we're pushy. Okay? Being pushy, no matter what kind of sales job you're in this day and age, is not cool. People don't want pushy salespeople. They don't want impatient salespeople. They want someone who's going to guide them through the process and help them. So just kind of think about it's really about them. It's not about you. Okay. All right. Number 6 on the list. For some reason, people think that we're not always sincere or we lack empathy. We don't seem to really care about the end result or what we're doing for them, their family, their relatives, the type of home that we're selling them, and being sincere about it. Okay, so number 6 is we need to work on that. All right. Number 5 on the list was, and I thought this was an important one, is managing expectations. Okay. What does that mean, managing expectations? Okay, you need to be very clear about what's going to happen when you list your home. What kinds of things? Are we going to do an inspection? How long does it take? How much does it cost? You cannot give too much information to people. When buyers are looking, what kinds of things should they look for in a home? How does that inspection process work? How does their financing work? What is the timing of all of this to closing, the sequence of things? Okay, so people get frustrated because they don't know what's going on because we don't tell them what's going to happen as the process evolves. Okay, so that's number 5. Number 4, and this was as we're moving up the list here. Okay, I think these things are probably a little more important. This I notice a lot in our society today, and number 4 is poor listening skills. Okay, for some reason, the public doesn't think we're really listening. We interrupt them. We talk over them. We think we know more than they do. We think we have better advice than they might have. We are not listening. okay? So you have to really focus on listening to people, keep this closed, keep these open, and try to listen to what they really are saying. Sometimes people will just ramble on because they're nervous, so that maybe there's sometimes you don't even need to comment. Other times there's things that they're talking about that are more important that we need to pick up on. You need to learn to kind of read between the lines about what people are really wanting from you, okay? So poor listening skills is a big deal to people. You can't give good service and good advice unless you listen, basically, all right? All right, we're moving up the list to number 3. The number 3 thing that bugs people about realtors is basically just lacking good communication skills. Whether it's speaking clearly, making eye contact, having your people talking to them on the phone or meeting them in person versus texting and emailing and so on, especially when it comes to big decisions. Presenting an offer, going over a CMA. You want to be able to, in many cases, especially if people have language issues, or maybe they're elderly, maybe they need someone in the family to be there with them. Maybe you just need to get these people to relax and be at ease. It's a totally different atmosphere when you're with someone talking to them versus texting or emailing, okay? If you can't be in person, a phone call is certainly much better than texting and emailing. So just the poor communication skills is something that kind of bugs the public, and we're going to do better at that, okay? All right, number 2, we're getting close to the top here. The number 2 thing the public has an issue with is not doing what you said you would do, okay? And I hear this a lot. It seems like people get so frustrated. This is why the FSBO market is strong, is because people have had bad experiences with realtors. They said they were going to take professional photos and they didn't. They said they were going to put their home on Facebook and they didn't. They said they were going to do an open house and they didn't. So not doing what you said you were going to do is basically in any area of life is not good at all, okay? All right, drum roll, number 1 thing. Anybody have any guesses? Okay. The number 1 thing people have an issue with realtors is not getting back to them, okay? There's been some research done on realtors contacting their clients when they get a phone call or they get something they need to follow up on. The average amount of response time that a realtor gets back to someone is 15 hours. I mean, that's crazy. You do not wait 15 hours to get back to someone who has contacted you, okay? Very frustrating for people. This particular survey said that of about half of them didn't even get back at all. So not only did they wait 15 hours, but half of the realtors didn't even contact the people at all. So if it's an internet lead, a newspaper lead, whatever it might be, or maybe it's a client you're working with already, not getting back to people is numero uno as far as something that the public has an issue with, all right? So again, let's start out the year. We're going to be getting into the spring market. Be transparent, be respectful, don't brag about yourself, don't be pushy, be sincere, manage expectations, be a good listener, learn to communicate more effectively, do what you say you're going to do, and get back to people, okay? Pretty simple. Have a great year, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.